Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration, here to inspire, enlighten, and build up humanity. And yes, humanity is my 1,422 subscribers. Well, you really aren't mine, but I appreciate you coming here. So, welcome. Thank you to my new subscribers. And I appreciate the existing subscribers, you guys that have came here earlier. Some of you loyal guys that follow me consistently and leave comments. And hey, you new guys, leave a comment in the comments section if you'd like me to talk on something. I can do that. So today's topic, what is today's topic? Can you guess? Today's topic is game and travel. This is going to be a quick one because, as you guys know, you guys that follow me regularly, it's a hard word to say, regularly, because I have other work that I do, which I enjoy very much. Okay, here's the deal. A lot of guys think that you can travel to other parts of the world and the girls are just so easy to pick up. Well, you've got to have game when you travel too. The reason I like to travel to other parts of the world, usually south I go, Latin America, Colombia, down there. Okay, I've been over to the Ukraine. I've never been to Asia, over in like the Philippines or Thailand or any place like that. So I really can't speak about that, but I have been down south a lot of times. The reason I go down there is because I like the way the women are, because they're more like they were up here 50 years ago. But a lot of you guys wouldn't know what the women were like up here 50 years ago. 50 years ago, women actually did things for men. They respected men. They would, okay, I'll give you an example. I can't remember all the things my woman used to do for me, but back in the 70s, that was 40 some years ago, my first girlfriend, she was my girlfriend from the time I was 15 or 16 to 21. Okay, she did things like cook for me. She made me this nice photo album once and gave it to me. She would have me come out to her parents' house when they had big meals. I mean, one time I traveled down to Louisiana on my motorcycle, and it broke down on the way back home. I think she went and got my dad, and her and my dad came down in southern Missouri, which was several hundred miles away from where I was, and picked me up, because I was down there in the middle of the night. Now, when I left, she didn't know if I was coming back or not, so I traveled different places in the U.S. when I was young on my motorcycle, on my Harley. And I had a Yamaha before that. They were both chopped out like drag bikes, okay. But I can't remember all the things she used to do for me. And she respected me, treated me like a man. And I don't remember the things she did for me until I hear people talking about it, or until I experience nowadays the things that women don't do for men, or that they act like, I'm not doing that for him. Why should I do that for him? Things have changed so much. So when you go to these other countries, it's like women respect men and they treat men like they're valuable. But here in the U.S., men have become treated like they're not valuable at all, that they're just these stumbling clods. That's the way they're portrayed on TV. And all these people grow up watching TV. The average American watches 4 to 6 hours of TV a night. So you're being indoctrinated by this stuff. Think about that. I always say, if you're not programming yourself with your agenda, someone else is programming you with their agenda. What are you consuming today? Most people in the U.S. aren't concerned about the type of food they consume. Thus, we have the 70 to 75% obese or overweight rate here in the U.S. Very unhealthy. Okay? So if they're not thinking about that, you know they're not thinking about what they consume with their mind. Whatever goes in your ears affects you. So why don't you choose what you listen to, what you feed your mind with? Read about people and things and situations that you want to transpire or to manifest in your life. Do you want to travel? Do you want to find women who are different? Now, there is the adage, everywhere you go, there you are. So if you go to another country and you don't know how to deal with women's nature, you're going to have the same problem there that you have here in the U.S. Now, I know how to deal with women's nature. I know how women are. But I just don't like the women here in the U.S. In general, there are good women here. There's just few and far between. And if you go fish in a pond, I use the same adage. If you go fish in a pond and there's no fish there, or there's only catfish there, and you like perch or carp, if you know what those are, or let's say salmon, that's usually a stream. Let's say you fish in a stream and there's no salmon there, but you like salmon. There's other kinds of fish, but you don't like those kinds of fish. Well, of course, you're going to go to a stream where you can catch salmon. But if you don't know how to fish and you're not a good fisherman, doesn't matter. You're not going to catch salmon in that stream with salmon in it. And it's the same way here. If you go out of the country and you don't know game and you don't know women, you're going to get fleeced, or you're going to get nothing, or you're going to get disappointed or heartbroken. So it isn't going to make any difference where you go if you don't know and understand how to fish. So learn how to fish, and you can fish here in the big lake of the U.S. if you like. I just don't like it. As I said, women are so different nowadays. They're raised to have a career. I don't care if a woman's got a bachelor's degree or a whatever she's got, or if she's got a corporate job, or if she's a CEO. It doesn't matter to me. Actually, it's a negative for me because, and maybe for you if you think about it, if she's working all day and trying to please the man, her bosses, what's she got left for you when she gets home? What's she got left for your kids if you decide to marry her and have children? How much energy does she have left to give to the family? As opposed to if you were, I don't like to use the term high value man, but if you were a man who could provide for her and the family where she didn't have to work outside the home. And I know a lot of women don't want to do that. There again, if you act like you want, or you say you want a traditional woman here in the U.S., they say you want a slave. Now, a lot of you have heard me say this before, but if that's a slave, then you're a slave also for going out and working all day to provide for the family. You're slaving away all day outside the home just so they can stay home so your wife doesn't have to work. No, actually, she does have to work. It's her job to take care of the home and the children if you decide to have children. But now everyone ships their kids off to daycare. That's the norm. That's the way people have been indoctrinated to believe it's the normal thing. Here's the big lie here too. Well, it takes 2 incomes. No, it doesn't. It doesn't take 2 incomes. Yeah, if you want to have the $1 million home and the 2 Escalades in the driveway and the pool in the back and the boat house down at the lake and a couple of jet skis. Yeah, if you want to have all that, it's going to take maybe 3 incomes. No, it'll take 2 incomes and a lot of credit card debt. And you're both working your ass off. The kids are in daycare being raised by God knows who, being indoctrinated by whatever ideas these people have. Is that what you want for your children? What value are you showing your children by doing that? These are questions you need to ask yourself, especially if you've been grown up, raised up in this society that tells you that's the norm. What is more valuable? Your children are the future of the nation. They are your legacy. Don't you want your wife raising them? And if you vetted and picked a good wife, wouldn't you rather her ideas be planted in their minds, their impressionable young minds, than the local daycare worker who's working for minimum wage or maybe a couple dollars more? She doesn't care about your kids, not the way you guys care about your kids. These are all things to consider. So that's why I go out of the country, because I prefer more feminine women who really value and respect a man, who understand the value of a man and what a man can do for them. They don't put men down, they don't degrade men, they don't treat men like they're crap. or like they're not valuable. The women here in the States, at least the younger modern generation, doesn't realize how valuable men are and how men keep these structures and systems going to provide them with this paradise life that we all have, that we all really don't appreciate. I appreciate it because I've seen what it's like in most of the world. But before I did that, before I traveled out of the country, I didn't appreciate it. I never appreciated a washer and dryer or a stove till I had to live without one for months or years at a time. I think I lived without one for years, the refrigerator anyway. I washed my clothes on a rock and a lake for quite some time, hung them out to dry. I don't know if we ever had a washer. No, I don't think we ever had a washing machine. I can't remember. A stove I went without for quite some time too. But when you grow up with these things, you don't appreciate them until you have to do without them. And I went for years without a microwave. Anyway, so travel out of the country, but learn the nature of women. Women are not bad, they're just different. Men are not bad. If you're a woman, listen, we're just different. Learn what pleases a man, and you men learn what pleases women. And that's a different thing that pleases a man. Don't treat women the way you want to be treated as a man. Treat women the way they want to be treated. It's vastly different. All right, if you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com is my website. You can check me out on Instagram if you're watching this on YouTube at Mark's Inspiration. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can check me out on YouTube at Mark Daniels, Mark's Inspiration. Be sure to join us this Saturday night. We're going to have John Fitch, former UFC fighter, on. We'll be talking to him about life in the ring and the value of being able to protect yourself. And I'm out of here. Have a great day and take care.